I'm like, excuse a microphone check. Well, microphone check. Good afternoon. Why did I do that? It's good afternoon for me. Anyway, I'm really excited to do tonight's video. We're going to talk about Charles Hoskinson. If you're new to the stream, I know it's Hoskinson. It's funny because I watched this dude on Tasty Works. He calls him Hoskinson. I just call him Haskinson because I like to do a bad Boston accent every now and then, and I'll be like Charles Haskinson. Anyway, I'm really excited to do today's video. We're going to react to a Charles Hoskinson video. Now, I know some of you Cardano haters out there are going to like that. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I was gonna do like there's a Meet Kevin video I want to react to. There is some other videos, an Elon Musk video. Probably start doing more of this. I'm not gonna do it every night, but I'll do it from time to time, unless no one comes and checks it out. You can see right now no one's in the house, so maybe this is for naught, and that's a shame because this honestly is really good alpha that I'm going to show you. There'll be a few, I've already watched this for the most part. I really am super excited about this. This really did make my day when it comes to Cardano. And, so we're going to look at that. I will stop it a few times. There's definitely one point in the video where I'm going to stop it because I'm going to be like, look, man, this is what I was trying to get this with Luna. And, a lot of people on the channel are going to remember that, especially when I bring it back up. So who is this sexy mofo? Let's pop on over to the desktop because you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have the chat. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go wise. Yeah, see that sexy mofo right there? All right, I've already watched this, but let's do it this way. Charles Hoskinson, he did a video today. It's on what is RealFi. I'm like, oh man, this is a 12-minute video. This is probably going to be pretty bad. So we don't have to watch the whole 12 minutes because ironically, I sit there and wax on about how great Cardano tech is and how smart Charles Hoskinson is. The fool couldn't even get his whiteboard to work. He spent like 2 or 3 minutes fooling around with that. Look, I'm not hating on the guy. It's not like I haven't had my technical issues too in the past. Anyway, let's get this rolling. Actually, I'm not sure if the sound.
Hi, this is.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get speaking. Speaking. Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson speaking live from sunny Colorado. All right, that should fix that. Let me get my headphones. Turn them headphones up.
Casting live from warm, sunny Colorado.
Let me know if the sound's good, bad. You need it up, down.
Well, wait a minute. It's December.
All 0 people. Oh, we got 2 people in the house.
Ah, there we go. See, you gotta have your fireplace.
Can you all hear that? Brent in the house.
Days into my 2-week fast, so forgive me if I forget anything or use ums or ahs. But this is the worst day of that long-term fast. It's always hard to push. Just
you're funny, Brent.
For me and some coffee.
Can you hear it?
That much coffee on fast, but fuck it, you have to do something.
Oh, he just dropped an F-bomb.
All right, we have 15 minutes, but I want to make a quick video talk about a topic and concept that
sound good.
Working together on.
Awesome. About all right, we're gonna skip ahead.
That's not working.
See, now you
can plug it back in. I wanted to make a video talk a little bit about DeFi and its translation into a new concept called RealFi. So we're going to format the background, we're going to enhance the ink shapes, we're going to put a graph in, and just not working. Okay. All right. Well, gonna have to reset the setup. So I'll just explain it verbally. So DeFi and RealFi, what is the difference between?
Now it's driving me nuts because his lips are out of sync. Let's see. Let me do this. That drives me nuts when that happens.
Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson. Stop sharing the screen. And is DeFi as a superset.
It's off.
So if you take a look at the SOK paper that I just presented, and I'll put it in the comments, basically
just don't watch his mouth.
They say, hey, these are some categories, these are different use cases, but there's something that's missing.
Oh, it's back to normal.
And that is really 5 categories. So there are 4 categories and a meta category that fits over it. So there's identity, metadata, governance, standards and certification. And then when you put them all together, you have some notion of a regulatory structure that sits on top of that. So RealFi succinctly is DeFi with identity. Okay, and we're going to talk about each of these things. That's why I wanted to do the whiteboard video. But it's identity. So basically the dApps themselves have some agency. So the application running on the blockchain has some notion of an identifier. And then the people interfacing with it have some notion of identity. It's not necessarily a real life identity, but it's enough identity to be able to say this is a unique individual and they're distinct and different from someone else. And identity doesn't have to be a universal concept in that everybody in the network knows that identity. It can be completely anonymous to a random person, but to a specific person, that identity is known. Metadata is saying, okay, we're going to tell a little bit of a story about the nature of the people, the funds that are in the account, the story behind them, the transaction that goes into the smart contract or into the debt.
All right, guys and gals, stick with it. I know it's a little boring right now, but it's going to come to a crescendo.
Or whatever it is, we're going to know a little bit about that. Governance is basically how do we upgrade, update, and change the DeFi that exists. So when you have a DEX or you have a stable coin.
Hear what he said? How do we change the DeFi that exists? And he's going to touch on this on a second. I'm not tonight. The night streams are going to be more serious, so I'm not going to do the into house thing. But it's tugging at my OCD. I did do it for Brent, but I got to stop it. Oh, talking about being serious, I thought I hit the mute before that burp came out. All right, my apologies. Let's continue. He's getting ready to hit on a very important part about DeFi, and you're ignorant if you don't believe. I know people don't like Dr. Charles Hoskinson, but people say, Tom, he's not a doctor. Yeah, he is. He's got a PhD in pimping, hustling, and dope dealing. All right, let's get on.
Or an Oracle, for example, JED, version 1.1, version 1.2, version 1.3. How do you upgrade? How do you make those changes? Who gets to decide? What's the process to decide those types of things? And then when we talk about standards and certification, it's saying, okay, are there abstractions about how to do certain things in the DeFi that are industry accepted practices, whether that be standards for bridges, standards for market making, standards for asset issuance and representations, standards for data that's produced and how that data is stored, et cetera, et cetera. And then a regulatory structure is basically the thing that sits on top of that. And it is scoped to a jurisdiction or jurisdictions relevant to where the assets live and the commerce being conducted by those actors. So a lot of people are saying, well, regulation is coming for DeFi. And that's true. The problem the regulators have is how do you automate it and keep it decentralized? So DeFi going to RealFi has those 4 properties: identity, metadata, governance, standards, and certification. But then it has this concept of decentralized regulation, DREG. So there's some RegTech technology that can be put in where you don't have to change the underlying protocols. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't have to change itself. Ethereum doesn't have to change itself. But there's some overlay where you can apply a regulatory scheme. And some basic capabilities of regulation are things like transaction reversals, freezing, things like.
What? Transaction reversals? What? Regulation? What?
Being able to identify the actors involved and go through know your customer and anti-money laundering and these types of things.
KYC's coming to DeFi, baby.
So whoever can solve this, I think, is going to control the entire DeFi
Whoever can solve this. Hear what he just said. Whoever could solve this.
space. RealFi is the next generation of DeFi.
RealFi
I'll do a series
is
on it at some point.
the
And
next
sorry,
generation.
my whiteboard is down right now. I'm not sure what happened to it.
Let me
But
tell you how much I agree.
basically, this is the crux of what makes DeFi work for everybody.
Preach, brother.
The last part of RealFi, it's kind of a meta part of RealFi, which is the user base. Now, one of the things that I've always been bothered about by the DeFi revolution
Preach.
a bunch of degen yield farmers come in and they're embracing Ponzi-nomics, and they're always looking for the greater.
Oh, we got to hear that again. What is DeFi again, Dr. Charles Hoskinson? What is DeFi again?
User base. Now, one of the things that I've always been bothered about by the DeFi revolution was a bunch of degen yield farmers.
A bunch of degen yield farmers. Now, tell me that doesn't smacks of some serious truth.
Come in and they're embracing Ponzi-nomics, and they're always looking for the greater fool. They have no intention of doing real loans or real transactions. It's just looking for some money to make with DeFi at someone else's expense. So it's a sum-zero game. You win, someone loses. RealFi, the reason why we call it real, is beyond the fact that you have identity and metadata and governance and standards and this regulatory oversight. The people who use it, they use it as their primary financial stack. They don't have a bank account, they don't have credit cards, or that's not a primary concern, it's a secondary concern. They want to use a blockchain-based, cryptocurrency-based financial stack. It's real.
They don't what? They don't have a bank? They want to use a cryptocurrency financial stack? What? Do you guys remember? I thought Luna was going to take us to that glory land. Remember when I wouldn't shut up about how I wanted Anchor to be my bank? How I want, yeah, Farnswalk, FWP can do in the houses, because the night streams are going to be a little bit more serious, boys and girls. All right, so remember when I said I want I wanted Anchor to be my bank. I wanted direct deposit to go to my bank. I wanted to be able to pay bills with Anchor. I thought Anchor was the greatest thing since sliced bread. So there we go. Now, Charles is finally caught up to me when it comes to this. He must have been watching my videos back then, and he probably heard about me. He probably heard about me checking out my videos, was watching the archive, and saw that I wanted this RealFi, and that I thought DeFi of the future would be this RealFi. Now, I will give him credit. He came up with a really cool term. I didn't come up with RealFi. I came up with the concept, but I didn't come up with the name. So I'll give that one to Dr. Charles Hoskinson. Anyway, let's let him continue.
RealFi. You say, well, who would do that? Well, let's imagine. Let's say that you are a small business in Nairobi. And right now, when you interface with the TradFi marketplace, every time you want to get a loan, every time you want to get new inventory for your store, every time you want to get a little bit of capital, store a little bit of capital, there's a 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% fee. And in some cases, you have no access. They just won't give it to you for whatever reason. Well, what if you could move all of that to digital assets and find a way to keep them secure, stable, safe, fluid, global, and make the fees go very low? And instead of getting a loan from your local community, where it's 35%, you can get it across the world, and everybody can put a penny in, and then it adds up to 50 cents. That's why you'd want to use that, because you have total control over your identity, self-sovereign.
I didn't realize I still had it on full screen, my bad.
You have total control over your asset storage, all of these types of things. That's RealFi at its core, and it's what gets me interested in this industry. When we say we want to be the financial operating system of the developing world, the new world.
They want to be the chief financial operating system of the world.
that we're moving towards, that's really the point of it. Because you'll notice that each of these things, identity, metadata, governance, standards, and certification, are not controlled by a single government, a single individual, a single company. And in many cases, the assets that are produced there are owned by you, the user, as opposed to owned by a corporation, a transnational body, a standards body, or whatever it may be. You see? And that is the difference in a nutshell. What is DeFi versus RealFi? It's RealFi is a superset of DeFi. It has added capabilities, and it has a very particular philosophy on the user base in that the user wants to use this. It's capable enough for the user to use this as their primary financial stack. You say, but Charles, crypto is very volatile. Well, it's true. Why we build things like algorithmic stablecoins and these types of things to try to figure out a way to skew the volatility. You say, but Charles, there are conversion issues and liquidity issues. That's true. And that's why people build on off ramps and these types of things. And there are forex fees and so forth. You say, but Charles, the DeFi applications aren't exactly where they need to be. And it's absolutely true. It's a new economy. And there's some warts and some stretches and rough edges and these types of things that are a little difficult to work with. However, the difference is, instead of this being an innovation of an individual or a company, it's an innovation of an industry. Meaning, the things I saw at Stanford Blockchain Week, I get to use. And the things we come up with at Cardano, they get to use. And so you have tens of billions of dollars of innovation that's basically working its way through. And we collectively are open sourcing all of that innovation. So within just a few years, the DEXs will be more efficient, faster, and have much better security guarantees than any of the centralized exchanges floating around. And just
this is very important.
We'll
listen,
much better ways
listen.
of representing knowledge, information, data, and its veracity than you'll ever get from a centralized company. In just a few years, many generations of stablecoins will work their way through. We'll have a much more nuanced way of algorithmically locking value and creating stability and very interesting community baskets. And all of these things, their cost goes down because once the innovation cost has been paid, it becomes a public good to everybody. And all of these things run on protocols for everybody. It's what gets me so excited about the industry and the space. And it's something that my company in particular is going to focus tremendously on in 2023 is RealFi. And it's something that we hope to be able to create an industry definition for and move us beyond the DGen DeFi movement into the age of RealFi. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Apologies about the tap.
Did I enjoy listening? Are you kidding me? That's the second time watching it. I'm more excited the second time around than I'm the first. I really am super freaking excited about this. If you do not see what's coming to Cardano, you are going to miss the boat. Big Pump says Cardano will definitely be here for 10 years. Cardano's going to be here for centuries. Cardano will be here as long as there is humanity at this point, in my opinion. It's solidified itself. And though something replaces digital asset, I don't know what that next thing is. I'll be dead, right? Who knows how much quantum computing is going to change all this? I'll probably be dead unless I can get me a neural link and it gets me past the singularity. But this is some very serious, important things that he is focused on. And again, I know a lot of people don't like him, but he hit the stage, and it was probably like 6 months ago, or it was back in March, I think. And he's like, yeah, he was pissed off because a lot of people were shitting on Cardano. And it was really just people didn't understand, the road. By the way, what projects left Cardano, Chad Knight? And why did they leave Cardano? Is it just because they couldn't hack it, or, I know two of them what basically were rug pulls, if you're talking about that. Anyway, Charles got on the stage and he's like, look, guys, you don't understand. We just implemented smart contracts. That doesn't mean everything's full functional, right? And he's like, we know there's problems and we're going to fix them. And, he even said some of this was an egg on his face. He didn't expect it. Again, like I said this morning, man, what creator of a top 10 blockchain gets on YouTube and gives you high level detail of what's going on and tells you what they're up to, right? So in March, he hops on the mic and says, "Yeah, man, there was this like problem. We didn't expect this, but there's also still a training issue with concurrent transactions and stuff, and they just need to learn how to program it better. And we're figuring some of this out, but it's technology. The thing about technology is you can write the code, and Cardano takes it slow with security in mind, and they get it right. And he's like, we will get input endorsers done at all costs and a few other things. And you know what? He did it. He said it doesn't matter how much money it takes. His vision right now when it comes to this real fi, top notch, man. Again, I've been looking, waiting for a real refi, for real a real fi. I've been looking for a real fi for a long time. Again, I wanted to move my bank to Acre. I wanted to get direct deposits to it. I'm not even lying, man. I'm glad, obviously I'm glad I didn't put more money in it. And it's a good learning lesson as this the JED comes out, the algorithmic stable coin. Again, if you don't know what an algorithmic stable coin is, if you don't know what a UTXO is, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're going to take you on a journey how to be a zero to a hero in cryptocurrency. But I'm really looking forward. So with the JED and the other stable coins coming to the ecosystem soon, there is going to be a DeFi and the next gen real fi explosion coming to Cardano. Cardano, if you hate Cardano, you're in for a rough time because you're going to hear a lot about Cardano. And if you're sitting there on the sidelines rooting for Cardano to fail, you're just practicing. What is that? Fraud and shod. What's fraud and what's that word? I know FWP knows what I'm. Schadenfreude. Schadenfraud. Schaden. Oh my goodness, my brain hurts right now. Schadenfreude. Is that it? You be sipping on that Cardano haterade, don't you, Ricky? All right. Again, these videos are going to be a little bit more serious. I'm excited about this. We'll start doing some more. This can morph into other things. I do want to start doing some more night streams. I do want to start focusing more on Cardano. I guess maybe I'll kind of save those more for the night. FWP. It's good to see FWP in the house. Ding, 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 a ding, a ding, ding. We'll give one for F. Oh wait. Oh, that was. I haven't played that one in a while. Oh yeah, fill up all my holes, son. That one's for you, FWP. We got this right here. I've definitely got a little bit of this in Cardano right now. I really want to back up the truck, guys. I was looking at my Cardano wallet today, and I'm like, I could easily buy enough Cardano to be at some goals I really liked, and I can easily buy some Bitcoin. So I have a little cash over and meet my goals and then just kind of sit around and wait for Ethereum. But I really am, you know what they say, good things come to those that wait. I am really I'm really practicing patience right now. I think it's highly likely that the market does have more downturn. And I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy. It's just that, I've talked about it quite a bit. We were fat, lazy, let the money printer go type people there for a while. Now, back then, people were saying eventually we're going to have to pay the piper, right? We're kicking the can down the road. Well, we can't kick the can down the road too much more, and we're paying the piper. So I think the recession's coming. I think we're going to have some time to dollar cost average and all that, or buy, and I think it's going to get cheaper, right? If it doesn't get cheaper, it's still going to be cheap for a long time. Hey, look, those are the words of the song, Ricky. I am keeping it professional. It's not my fault. The song says fill up all my holes. It's because he's depressed. Fill up all my depressed holes. Right? I'm sure there's some double entendre there, but hey, what can I do? Oh, it's shit. Stop. Talk. Man, we got 7 likes. That's more. I need to just stop doing morning streams and do night streams. That's already more likes than I got in the morning. I have a little bit of an emergency right now. Talk about keeping it professional. I cannot. Can you believe it's Thursday? I gotta check my lineup. And someone's offering me a trade. Oh, no trades pending. All right, that's it. I didn't want to go over a half hour. I'm glad everyone that came in today. Again, I will start doing more night streams, especially if we're going to get FWP in the house. Oh, he still hasn't figured out how to do that Google Chrome profile thing. Anyway, if you come by and you're new to the stream, I do love me some Cardano. If you love some Cardano, feel free to come by. I am the world's biggest Cardano bull. Unlike most Cardano people out there, I actually listen to Charles Hoskinson all the time. I read the articles, I read the papers. I'm in tech, right? I know if you're new to the channel, I actually know a little something about the technology in the world. Just a little bit. I know a little bit about trading, just a little bit. I've been doing it for a little bit. Anyway, I'll be back 6:30 a.m. PST. Be there. You're in F and Square. We're gonna do that market open. I'm not even checking the prices of crypto right now. This is all about fair respects to our Lord and Savior, Dr. Charles Haskison. Anyway, catch you tomorrow and